Hi, Marsha Grace here, as always, on Friday. I'm your Miracle Mastery mentor, and I am here today. No notes, nothing. I'm just going to speak from the heart because, which is what I tend to do for the most part with these talks, is whatever I'm guided to talk about, that's usually what I talk about today on these days. So I got a call last night from a dear friend who told me something that's just incomprehensible. I think to most of us, if this happened, you would say the same thing. She lost her niece that she was very close to in a tragic accident. She's away at college and she was run over and killed. So I started to think about all the things that come to mind when something like this happens. And of course it affects so many people in so many different ways, because if you're the parent or a close relative, such as my friend is, you're going to experience this in one way. And if you're her boyfriend, for instance, you're going to experience it in a different way. And if you're a friend, such as myself, and you hear about this, you're going to experience it in a different way. And so each one of us will hear this information, and we'll have a different way of perceiving what it is and what it means and all those kinds of things. So I just want to talk about, when tragedy strikes, how do we handle it? How do we deal with it? How do we cope with the emotions and the insane thoughts that start buzzing all through our heads when we're confronted with something so beyond the norm that it's just impossible to grasp? So looking at it from always from a spiritual perspective, as I do, there are some things that I want to say, and this may sound strange or even cruel in some ways, but for me it's very reassuring. And what that is that A Course in Miracles teaches me that we come into this world with a script, and you are the director, the producer, the writer, you're the costume designer, you're every part of your script. And when you write this script, was not up to you as an individual, so to speak. And so let me kind of step back and say where that script came from was from the sense that as spiritual beings, we're part of the allness. The allness that is life with a capital L. That's creation. Or you can call it God. Whatever you want to call it. It's what encompasses everything that we can conceive of. We're all part of that. And so each one of us, human beings, animals, whatever, all the creatures of the cosmos, we're all part of that oneness. So we all have our scripts, which we were, it's hard to say which we were given or which we chose, but in any case, we each have our scripts, and so those scripts are what we take into our life as we understand it in the present moment. So the script is, it's not written in concrete in the sense that every single step of every single day that you walk the earth, that's already given. It's not like that, as I understand it. What it is that we have a framework. We're going to be born from a certain family, in a certain country, at a certain time, with certain relatives and certain mental capacities that come naturally, or whatever the situation. We're going to have certain life events that we will have to handle. So things like that. So that's the script. Now, how we handle those things is where we have what many people call free will. So that's where we can decide what we want to do in this given situation. So this is what I teach, and what I long for people to develop an ability to have, and that is the awareness that each and every one of us has within ourselves the answers that we need to the situations that arise in our lives, and so that we can handle them without going off the deep end, without losing our minds, and without getting into all kinds of problems, because we have that guidance. It's within us. It's that part of us, that little part of us that's part of all creation, as I said before, because we're all part of the same oneness. And that part is the part that knows what you need as a human being in this existence at this moment, and will tell you. It'll guide you. It'll give you the direction. It'll ease your mind. It'll help you feel in control at the moment, so you don't have to go off in a frenzied rush, rush off trying to figure out how to deal with the situation. Now, this is what I teach, because it's nice to know this, but how do you actually do that, right? How do you actually get to that place where you can, in fact, know this, trust that guidance is with you, and actually be able to listen to it and follow through on it? Okay, those are all steps along the way that we need to learn, and it's part of what the course that I'll be teaching later on this new month of September, because that's what we need to know in order to walk through life feeling peaceful and confident and certain that we can deal with whatever life throws at us. I mean, being spiritual doesn't mean we're never going to have problems. At least not that I ever saw from anybody. I mean, everybody that comes into a body in this world is going to have things that you're going to have to handle. Situations that are going to come up that are going to need to be taken care of. And so, but how we do that, of course, will depend on our mental state and how we decide we want to live our life. So, and that is a decision. Even when you don't decide, you've made a decision, right? They always say that. If you don't make any decisions and you just kind of like wing it, that's a decision. It's not a good decision for the most part. And when I say wing it, what I'm saying is you don't even give a thought to how you want to perceive your life. It's just not in your wheelhouse. You don't even are concerned with it. You just kind of go about and just let things come at you. And that I call a victim. That to me is a victim. You don't want to be a victim. You want to be a lover. You want to be a lover of life. You want to have a sense of purpose and a sense of meaning in your life. And so in order to have those things, we need to be doing the right things that are going to bring to us whatever it is we need in order to activate those beliefs, right? So that's what I encourage in my program, is to help people learn how to hear your inner guide, to listen and hear and follow through. That's the third part that, again, is part of the process, because a lot of times we hear the guidance. And when I say guidance, it can be, we'll use different words. Let's say we get intuition, right? We have intuition. Oh, I should do this. And then we go, nah, I'm not going to do that. Or, oh, that's silly. We just discount it. So we don't listen. We get the guidance, but we don't listen. So that's another very, very important part of it. And where that comes from is from developing trust. I'm writing a book right now about this little topic, and about how we handle problems and how we can relinquish the problems. So that'll be coming out soon, which I will tell you about very soon. It's a very short book, very concise to the point, and something easily that you consume it, and I think you'll find it very helpful. Anyway, so